Coming up on episode 2 of TSAtv, we shout, "Not the face!" as we take a look at Super Street Fighter 4, wake up in the woods with our Alan Wake preview, see why I love digital comics, Zombie Studios tell us we've been tangoed, find out how to get your mug or tunes on TSAtv, and learn the basics for making your own video game. Super Street Fighter 4 carries the full roster of combatants over from the original game and adds 8 more. The additions include series regulars like T-Hawk and DJ, but there are also a couple of brand new additions to the Street Fighter stable. Along with new characters comes new fighting styles, including Taekwondo for the first time ever in a Street Fighter game. All of the characters have also been given brand new Ultra combos, so they'll have even more ways to smack the snot out of each other. The online aspect has been given a boost too, with new modes and better matchmaking. So now you can form 8-player lobbies where the winner stays on and you chat to your friends as you punch them in the groin. Just like in the arcades, but without the smell of stale sweat. Finally, the game has been totally rebalanced and honed so that it provides an even more tightly matched balance for the player. All this comes at a discounted price too, so if you're yet to experience the wonders of Street Fighter 4, then there hasn't been a better chance. The game's set for release in the US on April the 27th and in Europe on the 30th. In Alan Wake, you play as the eponymous hero. He's a thriller writer suffering from writer's block who escapes to a sleepy rural community called Bright Falls with his wife Alice. Unfortunately for him, things start to go wrong quite quickly. Alan's wife disappears and the town gets weird, so you have to guide the novelist through the game trying to discover what happened to Alice. Throughout the course of the game, you'll find numerous pages from a book which was apparently written by Alan, but of which he has no recollection. These pages help to progress the story, but they will also consist of some harder to find pages that give you more information which is non-essential, but which may provide a bit of extra intrigue. Remedy are the studio who created Max Payne, and their pioneering attitude to storytelling and atmosphere in video games is clearly present in Alan Wake. The use of light as a way to create weakness in your enemies is interesting, and the Twin Peaks setting, Google that if you don't know what I'm talking about, should make for an intriguing backdrop. Alan Wake was recently announced to be releasing a week earlier than expected and will now hit stores across Europe on the 14th of May. Avid readers of the website or those that follow me on Twitter will know of my recent infatuation with the Digital Comics application. You see, I used to own a big old fat PSP 1000 and I never really got along with it. In fact, I sold it a few months before Christmas and didn't regret the decision at all. And then fate transpired in my favour, and I had a long flight ahead of me. I freaked out a bit about being bored on the plane and the prospect of not being plugged into a gaming device for something ridiculous like 14 hours. It was all too much, so I caved in and bought a new PSP 3000 and a few games. I bought the thing because of the long flight, but I fell in love with it because of the digital comics. Firstly, there are a decent range of free comics to enjoy. That allows the system to be shown off without any initial outlay, and that's a good thing. Secondly, the autoflow reading system works 99% of the time, like a dream. I have it set so that the little R button advances me to the next stage, and I can lie in bed, which is my preferred state of being, and click through the pages of a comic effortlessly. There are a great selection of books to buy and download, and they're priced usually between 79p and £1.29, with a couple of notable exceptions if the books are longer. Marvel is probably the most well-known publisher on there, but there are many different publishers and genres, so there should be something for everyone. The only really notable publisher without a presence is DC, who seem to be resisting the digital revolution. That means no Superman, and none of our beloved Batman either. I got over this loss by enjoying Judge Dredd, Spider-Man Old and New, and the Civil War series, which pits Marvel Hero against Marvel Hero in a kind of big superhero scrap. There's also Tank Girl if your sense of humour is still in primary school, and mine is, and things like Burke and Hare and Cancer Town and Cages if you prefer a little reality or horror in your graphic fiction. There really is a diverse range of genres and a large selection to choose from. In short, digital comics is perhaps the best thing on the PSP right now. It's certainly the single thing that has parted me with the most cash on the platform, and it must be providing a new revenue stream for the publishers too. I love some of the newer PSP games, and I think minis are a brilliant addition to the service, but for me, digital comics are what my PSP is for. Everything else is just a sugar coating. News this week comes in the shape of this lovely trailer from the guys at Zombie and Ignition Entertainment. The video you're watching is from their upcoming downloadable FPS entitled Blacklight Tango Down. It's built using the Unreal Engine and features the usual raft of multiplayer modes, but perhaps most interesting, and the reason for the trailer, is the inclusion of a full co-op mode. This is not just 2-player co-op either, this is full 4-player action, and the publishers reckon it's raising the bar for downloadable titles. The game is set in the near future and aims to unsettle the player by taking the familiarity of our modern surroundings and adding a little futuristic twist to them thanks to massive technological overbuilding. The whole premise is based on the development of existing technology rather than science fiction. We think it looks quite nice and we're looking forward to getting our hands on it a little closer to the release date, which is, for the moment, listed only as this summer.
Download the future, summer 22.
The biggest community related news I can report this week is the competition we're running to find new background music for this very show. It was suggested in the comment thread last week, and over on our forums there's a thread discussing how the competition should be run and what criteria need to be met. If you're interested in taking part, there'll be a link to the relevant forum thread posted below this video, and if you're watching the show and you're not on the TSAtv.com, then you'll need to shoot on over there and find the forum thread for yourselves. While you're in the forums, you might also want to look out for the thread which asks if you want to be involved in TSAtv. We're looking for people with the ability to record themselves to answer a few questions and be featured right here on the show in the coming weeks. The forums are also looking for new mods, so if you're interested in basically becoming a digital butler, there'll be a thread in there to apply. I can also tell you that preparations are ongoing for our FIFA 10 match. Colin's organising the team and the link will be posted under the video as usual. Rumours that Michael's offering to be the half-time masseur are without foundation, but I can confirm that if the team's doing badly, we're planning on letting Katie shout at you all at half-time. That should do it. That's about it for community content this week. If you want to see anything specific here in coming weeks, don't be afraid to contact me and let me know. My email address is on the staff page, which is linked from the bottom of every page on the sixthaxis.com. Finally on this week's show, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know on how to make a modern video game. You need a dashing hero with a chiseled jaw and a smart mouth. If you can't find one, then a shaven-headed sociopath will do. Make them capable of hanging from ledges by their fingertips, or at least make it look like they've crapped themselves when they run. There has to be a lady in there to act as a love interest, unless your main character is a woman, in which case, you're doing it wrong. The lady love interest can be smart and tough if you want, but just remember to give her a well-crafted set of arse cheeks and a shirt that doesn't button up past her sternum. Get some enemies. Any enemies will do, but make sure there are lots of them. It's not a modern video game unless you've murdered at least more than 9,000 bad guys. There should be guns. If you can't find guns, then make a stealth game. Oh no, wait, nobody makes them anymore. If you can't find guns, then make a platformer or flower, pussy. You need lots of explosions. Not an explosion, not some explosions, lots of explosions. You can have a cohesive storyline if you want, but it's not essential. If you can't work out how to write a story, just add more guns and something controversial like a level in a train station where you have to shoot train spotters in a temple with a nail gun. You need multiplayer. It doesn't matter that people will only play it for 3 days and then the 9 months of development that went into it will seem like a waste of time. Time that could have been spent making the single player mode really good. If you don't have multiplayer, the internet will fill up with people who aren't interested in playing your game anyway, and they'll be saying how much it sucks that you didn't even include multiplayer. Then, in 3 years when you finally switch off your dusty, cold multiplayer servers, there'll be uproar online and your parentage will be questioned by people who bought your game off the pre-owned rack at GameStop for $2.99. Under no circumstances should you ship a game which is complete. Always hold back a little something to release in a few weeks as premium DLC. Even if it's only a stupid virtual t-shirt, you can get $3.99 for them and people will be proud to pay it. Under no circumstances should you ship a game which is finished. What the hell do you think patches are for? If you ship a game without bugs, then that's you out of a job and back to the difficult task of trying to find enough guns and explosions to fill another game. Leave a few bugs and glitches in there, and you get a few weeks of free internet marketing as people bitch and moan, and you get paid to fix the thing you broke in the first place. You can't lose. Finally, you need Nolan North. This is non-negotiable, and if you don't feature Nolan North in some capacity, then you haven't made a video game. You've made a mistake.
So it should be that way, past the water tower there.
Nate, she pulled a gun on us.